like these things, like this, only boxers. So my and my are flopping out all day in front of like this whole room of people. And now I'm just more nervous about sitting here showing everyone my balls.
That's great.
Join your face.
How you feeling?
Feeling ready for coffee.
Hey, welcome back to the channel. This is Akhi Chalal, and you're watching Stoop It Coffee. It's a place where we interview artists around New York City who are hourly workers and ask them about how they navigate through life in pursuing art. Today we are interviewing an actor. His name is Eric Santiago. He has been an actor since a teen. He's always been in different types of plays. Now as an adult, making his debut in commercials and TV shows and trying to make it into the big screen. I think you're gonna get a lot of nuggets in this show. So what am I even talking anymore? Let's get on with this show. Hey everybody, welcome to Stoop It Coffee, where we interview artists who are working in the industry, and we interview them about lifestyle, how they manage their time, work, art, and relationships. So today I got Eric Santiago, I think, right? Is that
Eric Santiago, the actor.
Right. Yeah, yes, actor. New York City. Today we are in beautiful Bay Ridge. Is that where we're at?
That's where we're at. This is my neighborhood, Bay Ridge. Been here for like 8 years.
8 years?
Yeah.
Wow, that's actually a long time.
It's a long time.
Yeah.
I just like it.
Yeah.
It's cheap, and it allows me to do what we've been talking about, kind of like facilitate being an actor in New York. Because everywhere else is way too expensive.
Did you just like Bay Ridge, or you just slowly like fell in love with it later?
No, it was a random, what's it called? Like real estate agent person. Kind of showed it to me, and at first I was like, I don't know, but then I was like, actually there's a weird vibe in this neighborhood. It's very beautiful, but in this old, kind of like days gone past way that I liked.
I can see that, yeah.
I also really liked the real estate guy I worked with, because when he was doing the deal with the building company, anytime the building company would say something like, well, he's gonna have these provisions, he wouldn't say like yes or okay, he would go, fine. And I just remember everyone in the room being nervous, myself too. Like I'd just be like, Jesus, you're not gonna you say nothing but no and fine.
Maybe he was on some sort of drug. Just like, let's get this over with.
Yeah, that drug is called Kurt.
Yeah. Before we begin, we have our coffee right now, and this is our section, What's Brewing. Basically right now it is a local company again. This is Loveless Coffee. It's I think they're based in Bushwick. And they also have another small cafe called Dweebs, I believe. And love this coffee, great stuff for the people at home. All right, what do you think about the coffee?
I think the coffee's really nice. This is single origin coffee?
Yeah.
I don't know what origin any of my other coffees has. It's nice, it tastes like very clean, like very like it doesn't leave that weird coffee taste.
It's like a tardiness taste to it. It's a Kenya actually. Yeah. But yeah, so let's start this interview. Let's get right into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're an actor, right?
I am.
And how long have you been doing this?
I've been acting since I was a kid. So basically, I started doing theater when I was in school as a vehicle to get me to shut the fuck up in class. It was becoming a thing where like I was so addicted to like making the room laugh or just doing something that would
entertaining.
Because school fucking sucked when I was a kid. I hated it. I hated it so much. So I would create these little moments to just forget I was in class.
Yeah.
And it eventually progressed to like the teachers being like, we got to do something about this annoying kid.
In high school?
This is every level of school.
Oh, every level of school.
Basically. But what I'm saying is I started in like elementary school.
Okay.
Because that's where they first started to be like, all right, he has this instinct to perform. He has all this energy. Try the plays.
Yeah.
And I think the first play was like Oliver Twist.
Hold on. What grade is this?
This is still in elementary school.
Okay.
I'm
Oliver
like starting
Twist.
all the way at the beginning.
Got it. It's the beginning, yes.
Oliver
the beginning
Twist,
of time.
I played the Artful Dodger. That was like whatever, but then the next year I got to play Tom Sawyer in the production of Tom Sawyer. And that's what taught me, like, there was a moment where me and a buddy of mine, before we even knew what improv was, there was a moment where I was like, hey, wouldn't it be funny if we changed this one line? It was the last show. I said, what if we change this one line and say it? I forget what we said, but we say this thing. He goes, oh my God, can we do that? And I went, it's the last show. What are they going to do? So he just goes, okay, you go first, and if you do it, I'll do it. So I went, okay. So we do the show, and the line comes up, and I remember being really nervous. I was like, oh my God, what's going to happen? And I say this line because it was some sort of little joke, and the room laughed. The audience laughed. Wow. And then my friend said his improv, and they laughed again.
Whoa. So he's just on a kick now. That
was like my first hit of like the addicting audience response.
Of the stage,
to something you do. And from that, it just kind of snowballed. I started doing regional theater, then I started doing commercials, and then when I was a little older, I started getting into like little television bits. And that's kind of where I'm at now. I'm in these day player bits, but obviously I want to make a career in television.
That's great. We're gonna back up and we're gonna like explain a little bit more in theory or like the small stuff in there. When did you actually feel like, I want to be an actor? When was like, this is it?
I'm not sure if there was like a moment where I was like, this is what it's gonna be. Telling everybody,
today's the day I'm coming out now.
Right. I'm coming out as an artist, everyone. Sorry. It was a slow transition. It was almost like the art and me sort of grafted together after a certain point. Because like, it wasn't until I got older that I realized why acting and being an actor is so important to who I am. For a long time, I thought it was like, about performing and entertaining. And it is, but like there's a deeper reward in acting. This understanding of yourself and this ability to not only understand yourself, but be able to show it to strangers, which I'm still working on. I'm in this 2-year Meisner Conservatory at Terry Knickerbocker Studios, which is fantastic.
Nice. And shout out like links, I guess.
Yeah. And this work is really teaching me about like myself. And there is something so rewarding about being able to like open up and show a whole room full of people. Because for years and years, I couldn't do it. I couldn't even do it to people I loved. So like now, I don't know, it feels important to me on a soul level.
That's important.
Yeah.
To continue on and having that passion in you that's like burning. You want to do things and never quit.
Yeah.
That's really good. And when did you? Why did you say that you never felt like fully on like an actor? Like you were saying, like is that like not that far ago, or like was this like when you were younger?
Well, I guess I don't want that to get confused. I've always felt like an actor, but what I'm saying is there wasn't like a day I woke up and I was like, this is, you know what I mean?
Got it.
Where I labeled it and I was like, I am an actor.
Oh yeah, I'm an actor now. I'm gonna dance in front of everybody. Kidding.
Like the title, like it took a lot of gigs for me to even feel comfortable when people go, oh, what do you do? For me to go, I'm an actor.
What's going on? Nick Castillo, you're under arrest for the murder of Perry Sutton.
I'm in the hospital. I got an infection. You can't arrest me.
Yeah, we can.
Went into the pharmacy and emptied a shelf of toothpaste and mouthwash into a duffel bag. When confronted, he struck the store manager.
All the same caliber?
Yes, all revolvers, Ruger GP100s.
Goa, you were talking about Goa. What was it like? Out of body. Oh my God.
Everybody just fucked everybody.
It's definitely cool.
Bryce, a couple of coffees?
Oh.
John Bosworth, Mutiny, Inc. Bryce, could you excuse us?
2 nights ago in class. Look, is everything okay?
The man in the picture with her, is that her dad?
Not the way I remember him.
Her parents still together?
Yeah. Yeah, Lottie talks about them all the time.
We need to contact them.
All right, well, they run a travel agency, 13th and Walter.
Yeah.
You know, because for a long time, I just felt like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, you know?
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm doing, yeah.
Imposter syndrome, yeah.
Like, sometimes I'm doing stuff that's right, but other times I'm like, I have no idea.
What did you start on? Like, you were doing, like, theater first,
Yeah.
right? And then school. And then from there, let's move on from there, like from the starting.
Yeah, so from there, I started doing regional theater. So I grew up in a little town called Cary, North Carolina.
I was about to ask you, Carolina, is that
Yeah.
okay? Where's that, north or south?
That's down south.
South.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, so I have a little bit of redneck blood in me, which is an interesting mix for Hollywood, a Japanese Puerto Rican redneck.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I started doing the regional theater in Raleigh,
Yes.
which is a bigger house that's like 2,500 seats.
Okay.
And
How old are you?
I think in those days I was young. I was like 14, 15.
Wow, that's a big stage for a young kid.
Yeah. Yeah, it really was. Actually.
Yeah, and then continue on, yeah.
But yeah, and from there I got spotted by like an agent.
Yeah.
And that agent started going like, hey, well, why don't you try doing some commercials locally? So it's turned into like local grocery stores. And this and
Whoa. 14, already got an agent? Damn.
I mean...
You're on fire.
I mean, yeah, it was a blessing, man.
Yeah.
Like, because it opened the doors to everything else.
Okay. I don't want to cut that through, so continue on.
Yeah.
So you got the grocery going around, yeah, and then from there?
And then from there, that turned into, okay, well, this kid's booking like commercials, and now he's starting to do like some national commercials. So then my agents were like, okay, let's start putting them out for like one-liners here or there. And
What does that mean?
that means if you're in a movie and you're the main character and you walk into a coffee shop and you go, hey, I want a bagel. And then the guy goes, we're out of bagels today. And you go, and you tear up the coffee shop. I'm the guy
You're that
whose
guy.
line went,
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
out of
yeah.
bagels today. That's
Okay,
it.
cool.
So little lines like that moved the story along.
Okay, yeah.
From there, it kind of transitioned into like, okay, well, I'm doing what at the time felt like everything I could do in North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom was a flight attendant for American Airlines.
Whoa.
So this is kind of like a little hack, but I had this ability to fly up to New York for free because my
Nice.
mom worked for the
Yeah,
airlines.
of course.
Granted, it was like standby. So it was like,
Yeah, whatever.
talk about anxiety when I was like trying to get up for an appointment and I'd be like, I don't know if I'm gonna make the flight.
Yeah.
But that then allowed me to come up to New York for some auditions,
Yeah, nice.
which was like my proof of concept.
Yeah.
Okay, let me try some auditions. If they don't work, maybe I'll try LA again or I'll like whatever.
Yeah, because you can fly.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But obviously you don't want to because it's a pain in the but
course.
like,
Money, too, yeah.
yeah. But yeah, so it started to track. I started to book a couple of like TV shows in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah, like my first TV show that I ever booked in New York City was on a Showtime show called Nurse Jackie, season 1.
There's Jackie.
Yeah, it's with a really phenomenal actor named Edie Falco from The Sopranos, who I was
wow.
always a huge fan of.
Okay.
So this is my first TV show. I have a scene with her, a nice big scene. I'm nervous. This scene, the character it's a hospital show.
Yeah.
Is a 16-year-old male who shoots a Roman candle out of his and gets third-degree burns on his perirectal area and needs immediate attention.
Oh my God, this is a show?
This is a
What
TV
was
show.
this?
This is like this must have been a couple.
2000
It
early?
was a while ago because it was my first TV
Early
show.
2000s maybe?
Something
That's
like
wild. Okay.
that. So imagine not only am I nervous to perform in front of someone that I like was a fan of, but I had to do the whole scene in stirrups. So they had my feet in these fucking, like these things, like this, the whole time. I'm wearing a gown, a hospital gown, only boxers. So my balls and my are flopping out all day in front of like this whole room of people. And it was really funny because actually there was something about that made me less nervous about doing the scene because I was like, now I'm just more nervous about sitting here showing everyone my balls. Cautionary tale. Enjoy. Holla! starting to hurt.
I know, honey. I know.
Yeah.
Like,
that's
the scene doesn't...
Took off everything from your brain. So let me ask you this then. Was it just like floppy, or did they put some sort of tape or whatever? Like,
No, they put tape on it.
They just straight up?
Well, because they were like, you have underwear on, right? And I was like, yes. But they were boxers. So, you know, like at first it's fine. But then, you know, as you're sitting there, you're moving around, there's spillage. And, you know, sometimes just a poor PA would have to come over to me.
Damn, just like,
just
that's
like,
not.
hey, you might want to just adjust your, you know, I'd be like, oh, shit. They didn't want to say they saw it. They just went, just adjust whatever you have to adjust.
Yeah, just get it over with.
If it feels cold anywhere, cover it up.
Yeah. Wow. And this is how old were you?
How old was
15,
I? 18?
16? 18? Oh, okay, so we're moving up.
Something like that.
18, yeah. Okay, so from there, what happened then? After that show? You just took off? What's going on?
So after that show, there were other things too. Like, no, I had started going to college, but I dropped out because I had started to like book things. I also was in a deep, debilitating life depression about like I didn't know what the fuck I was doing in college because I wasn't studying the dramatic arts. I was trying to do like was at that time
science? What's going on?
No. It was like communications, which to me is just as for an artist because it came at a time, and I don't know if any other artists have experienced this moment, but it came at a time where there was all this pressure, you know, like, well, what's your backup? What's the other plan, just in case?
Yeah.
And I tried it, and I was like, and even in doing it, I was like, this just feels wrong.
Yeah.
It feels like off. So I dropped out, and then I moved up to New York.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know anyone up here.
Yeah.
And I found an agent.
You moved up here by yourself?
So technically, yes. I moved up by myself. But
let's go into technicality of that. What?
At the time, I was dating my like college girlfriend.
Got it. There you go.
Yeah, and it was a gift that she came up with me.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting her to come up with me.
What was the deal? You're like, I'm coming up here, or we're cut. No, I'm kidding.
No, no. It was like no, because she's lovely. But it was a reckoning.
Okay.
Actually, maybe to bring it full circle, you asked the question like, what was the moment you knew you wanted to be an actor? Maybe that was the moment.
Okay.
Actually, now that we're talking about it, because that was sort of the moment that I went like, can't do this stupid shit down in North Carolina anymore. I can't fake it. I gotta go somewhere where I can do this like 100%.
Yeah.
I think that was the moment.
That was it. Nice.
I think that was the moment, or like in college, and it was one of those things where I went to my girlfriend, and we're young, you know, so it was a tough conversation where I just basically had to be like, I'm moving to New York. I have to follow this dream. I have to try.
Yeah.
You know, she was very supportive, and she was like, well, I'll go with you. I'll go with you. And I was so grateful for that because I knew I was going to be scared and lonely.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to do it by myself. But I think the real truth is I maybe as a younger man wasn't expecting her to want to come up.
Yeah.
And it was giving me some like anxiety. And I remember having a conversation with her saying like, well, you know, if you come to New York with me, with this crazy artist trying to, like a Don Quixote type figure going up and who knows what's going to happen. I was like, you have to want to move up to New York too.
Yeah.
You know, it can't just be me. Like, you need to want something out of this crazy city too.
Yes.
And, you know, she told me she did. We move up here, she hates it.
Oh.
She hates it. Southern gal, hates it.
Woo. Where did you move to? Where were you staying?
We were staying in this apartment.
Whoa!
I've been at this apartment since
the whole
long.
time.
Oh wait, no. I'm sorry. Wait, no.
Hostel or whatever?
No. Yeah. Okay, now my timelines are linking up. So actually, my first apartment was like Prospect Park, or near like Greenwood Cemetery. You know where like Greenwood is?
Yes.
Kind of near Prospect Park. Mm-hmm. That was actually our first apartment. This happened towards the end of our relationship, and we started to go our separate ways. So that's why I'm like blending it, because she did spend some time in that house, but we didn't really like live there, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So then, and then you moved out here, and then from there, what was young Eric doing? Okay, cool. Now I'm out here, New York. I got my spot. Now what?
Now he has to make money to try to facilitate his dreams.
Okay, and then what did you do?
So I got a.
Comes a big question, like moving to the city. How do you make money?
So when I left North Carolina, I was working at in Cary, North Carolina.
Oh wow.
So like nice little good old American restaurant,
Yeah,
easy going, whatever. I tell them, I go, hey, I'm moving up to New York to chase my dreams.
Yeah.
Is there any way you can put in a transfer? Because I know there's all over the place.
Of course, yeah.
So they go, yeah, we'll make some calls and we'll get you another one. Oh, great. So they say, okay, we got you a job lined up. Like you basically just have to show up and don't get up. And obviously they didn't say it that way. They were just like, you just have to show up and basically do what you've been doing here.
Yeah.
And you'll be fine. They give me the address. I kind of don't pay attention to it until it's like around time.
Too late, yeah.
I think it was like the day before I had my first day or something where I was like, okay, let me see where it is.
Yeah.
I look at the address. It's the in Times Square.
Yeah.
The one that's right in the middle. It's not there anymore. It's further east now, I think. But it used to be right on the corner.
Right in the middle. Okay.
It was like something out of a movie. I went to the address and I'm sort of standing in front of it going like, this can't be the one. Like, what are you talking about? I'm used to having 5 people in the restaurant at a time. What do you mean?
This is like a rush every freaking no stop.
It was crazy. I mean, like, it was it was insane, dude. Like, even to this day, working in New York City restaurants for the last like 10 years, it was one of the craziest places I ever worked.
I can't even imagine working in that kind of spot.
It was just
Times
like
Square too. Oh my god.
Nonstop madness, crazy people all the time, crazy servers, crazy bussers, like the whole restaurant.
What the hell?
I don't even know if I can say this. I want to spill tea about it, but I don't want to get them in trouble.
No, no, it's fine. I'll bleep out the. People won't know it's.
Okay, yeah. All right, for the edit, we might bleep out the name because I don't want to get this fine franchise in trouble. So this restaurant called Bleep.
Yeah.
It was like a pirate restaurant.
Uh-huh.
So all the servers skimmed money.
Wow.
Because it was a lot of cash.
Yeah.
Because it was a lot of tourists, Times Square.
Uh-huh.
They all skimmed money. It was like the mafia. They they would kick up to the managers.
Wow.
There was only one manager who didn't do it.
Yeah,
He was the general manager, but like every other one would take like a little cut.
Something.
And I remember being super, it's so stupid to say it out loud, but I felt like Ethan Hawke in Training Day. Like, when he's with all the corrupt cops and they're like, you want to cut? And he's sort of like, nah, I don't do that. And they're like, looking at him like he's weird. That's how I felt because there was a long time where I just didn't want to do that.
Yeah. And then what happened? That was it.
And then did I do it?
You didn't do it. Let's leave it at that.
I just didn't feel comfortable.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was like a baptism by fire for New York City for me. But that being said, I also made more money at that place than I made at any other restaurant I've ever worked at in my life.
Yeah, it makes sense. That's crazy. So many people. You're probably exhausted by the end, though.
I was, but it's funny. I was at that age, like 22 or whatever, 21, where like you're exhausted because you just worked a double, but somehow you still go out and drink until 5 o'clock in the morning.
That's crazy. Yeah, you're so young. Yeah, and at the time too, what were you doing? Like acting wise, what were you doing at that time? You looking out, or the main goal is just to make money for now? Just get it stable first.
I think when I first moved out here, I had an agent, but I was new, so like I wasn't getting sent out a lot.
Yeah.
I think I was auditioning here and there, but it was not that consistent.
Okay.
So I was filling that time with work.
Got it. Are there points where you just freaking like feel like this is too much of work, or you were just so young that you're like, I'm fine, I can just do this too,
like the job itself?
Job itself is like so tiring that like you don't have time to go and look for more acting jobs? Or was it just like, no, I always had the time, just my agents never came out, so you just relied on an agent? Or was it also you were relying on yourself too to go look at places too to find your own acting moments, or a mixture of both?
I guess it was kind of a mix.
Yeah.
Again, at the time, the opportunities weren't as present because I was,
Yeah.
When you're a new actor, they're not sending you out every week. They're sending you out once in a while to see. I filled the extra time with work.
Okay.
But at that point in my life, it wasn't a challenge to do that.
Got it.
I've been in places with my day job where it has been.
Okay.
Where it's been like, now I'm getting not only cool auditions, but like jobs sometimes. Like I'm booking little things here or there, but I have this day job.
Yeah.
And
let's fast forward to that. When
Yeah.
okay, so after that, well, the timeline, when did you finally leave that company? It's fine. I'm bleeping it. Yeah. And when did you leave that and then you find this other place where you're like stuck with this?
the next time I felt that way was at, I think it was a restaurant on the Lower East Side. It was this Italian place. And it was a startup restaurant. It was clean and spanky, kind of like a famous chef.
Okay.
And that was tough because I think I was at a time in my life, well, actually it doesn't even matter. I was at a time where like, I didn't value the day job at all. I really didn't.
Yeah.
You know, it always felt like an ATM to me.
Yeah.
Like I'm here to like withdraw money so I can go spend it on my art.
Yeah.
And as a younger man, I think that attitude really shows.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, bummer. Yeah. Okay.
So, you know, I sucked at that job.
Yeah.
They hated me. Anytime I had to not be there, they knew why, you know, but I would still lie. Like it was horrible. It was horrible.
So you're getting all these booking jobs. What were you getting?
Like commercials, industrials.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Like, I think still little TV bits here and there. Like just little things, but that would take me out of the job for probably like 3 or 4 days.
Were you, are they on YouTube or something, you know?
Well, the TV bits, you could go on my IMDb, you could check out all of those. The commercials, I'm not sure they put many of the commercials up. Some of my newer ones that are bigger ones that I've done are on YouTube.
Yeah.
But I think the older ones are just like lost to time.
For sure.
I don't know what happens.
Well, we'll see some of them right now.
So how far do you think GM's Ultium EVs can go?
180 miles.
More? 300 miles?
1 million miles?
I just found out about my hepatitis C.
Now we're back, but
yeah, sorry you had to see that. Yeah.
So that this job, you were like, you were saying like, you had a lie and they knew and the kind of thing, and it kind of got weird.
Yeah, and it was interesting because it was one of those strange moments where I was like, I want to be good at a job. I want people to like me. I want to do this, but I was having such a hard time buying in with all of this exciting stuff going on on the other side that they didn't even know about. So it was really hard, and it created a lot of friction between me and the restaurant industry, actually.
Yeah. Oh man. And then when did you decide, like, you know what, I got to go from this job? Or
I mean, I've always been in restaurants, so I never fully went like, my hope to Xanu and Tom Cruise is that one day I will be taken out of that by my art. But I never left it. I just kind of moved to the next shell.
Yeah.
You know?
So what did you do with that one? The one that you were like kind of had bad blood a little bit with them. Not bad, but like, you know.
It was bad blood.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it was bad blood.
And then,
it was terrible blood.
And then you left.
This was the worst blood you've ever seen in your life.
So then you left that spot, and then you kind of like I need to make it a little better, like a better spot. And then what did you choose after that? Another different kind of shop?
Man, where have I been after?
Another Italian restaurant?
Well, dude, I've been in so many different restaurants. I gotta like think about it. And some of them I've been at longer than others. And
yeah.
I think the next important restaurant was a place in the West Village, which was cool. Again, held all the same.
What's it called? Can you name it, or is that no?
I don't know if I want to name it yet because I might talk some.
Okay, fine.
And also, there are some like high-profile people who go there. I don't want to blow up the place.
Yeah, okay.
But it's this place in the West Village. I carried with me all the resentment I had towards restaurants because over time it started to feel like, I don't know, I would almost get like angry, even though I was getting money out of it.
Yeah.
And I am grateful for that because it allowed me to do this. I almost like hated and resented restaurants. I still kind of do.
Yeah.
Because there's a part of me that when I walk through that door and I put on the apron, there's a part of me that goes like, fuck, like anything else, but like anything else. There's no chance I can think about art or even practice art or do anything when I'm here.
When you're there, like, what is the main problem with that? Is it like managers or customers, or just being the fact that like, you're doing that?
I like to blame it on managers and customers and employees, but actually, even for better or worse, that's my favorite part of it, the human interaction element of it. Yeah. Honestly, it's simpler than that. The worst part of it to me is just that I'm doing something that I don't give a about.
Yeah, that's fair. Can you give us like an experience, a moment where you were like, dang, I don't know if I can do this anymore, like you kind of broke down or something and like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. That was like the most intense moment in your restaurant life.
There's a moment at the restaurant in the West Village, the one I was talking about before. They had these 3 owners. Mm-hmm. Let's call them Beeve, Bin, and Trudy. They make staff meal for the family, right?
Okay, yeah.
They bring out these pans of food for all the waiters and the bartenders to eat, front of house. One of the owners, Beeve, he used to come in and he would walk around in this little circle. He would go, hello, everybody. Hello, how are you? You all look so wonderful. Oh, what do we have here? He'd look at the family meal. Before any of us had touched it, by the way. It's like right when it lands.
Yeah.
He'd go, oh, this looks so very good. What is this? He would reach his fat, stubby sausage fingers into the family meal with his unclean fingers, pull it out and taste it and go, you're all so very lucky. This is so very good. And then he would go to the bar and have his burger or whatever that he just ordered off the menu.
Yeah.
And he would do that a couple of times. It didn't just happen once or twice. It happened a few times.
My God.
And I just remember thinking, like, that almost feels like he's telling us, fuck you, a little bit. There's something about the owner reaching his fucking fingers in.
It's like, you guys.
Yum, 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 yum. You're lucky that we're giving you this.
Yeah. That's so degrading.
Yeah, so.
Oh my God.
And the funny part is that wasn't even the moment that you asked about. The moment was when I went up to my general manager and I said, hey, I've noticed this thing that Beeve has been doing where he's eating our food with his fingers, and I just wanted to check because I don't know Beeve very well. But I think I'm going to say something to him when he comes in today because it really bothers me and it's disgusting. Yeah. And it's like there's something that feels disrespectful about it.
Yeah.
I'm expecting my manager to go like, okay, we'll talk to him together. Like, we'll do it. My manager goes, yeah, he's not going to like that very much. And I just went, what? What?
Yeah.
Like in my head too, like I'm thinking like, what are you talking about? Like I'm not telling him he's an asshole. I'm asking him to not reach his fingers into the food.
Oh my God.
And so that was a moment that I wanted, you ask about a breakdown. It wasn't a breakdown per se, but it was one of the most intense feelings of like wanting to just take the apron off, walk, put my hand in everyone's food on the way out, knock that shit over, knock this shit over, kick the goddamn table, go up to Beeve and put my fucking fingers in his food and go, you're so very lucky.
I can totally see that.
Ugh.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. That's
okay.
That was, ooh. Wow, I don't think I've ever had that moment.
Yeah. Fuck you, Beeve.
We're gonna go down into how like Braxton talks about like living in New York City. Yeah. What do you do? How much do you pay for are you rent control where you live?
I pay $18.79.
With a roommate.
Yeah, with my girlfriend.
Yeah.
So it's split down the middle.
Okay, that's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
That's like really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. Bay Ridge, chill. And do you have a rent control situation?
I'm not sure if it's rent controlled, but I know that I'm on like a special rider, like I'm on some sort of special lease agreement.
Yeah, and you don't like, because like in the 8 years that you've been there, they didn't like 200, 500.
They did, but it must be rent controlled because it was very small increments.
Yeah, okay,
it would be like $60 a year at a time.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, you're definitely in a rent control area, I think.
Yeah.
Because there's no way they would like raise that up.
And it's a trade-off, man. Like I'm lucky for this apartment. It is out of the way. I mean, it's out of the way for most of New York City.
Yeah.
But I see it as kind of a transactional thing. It's like I'm paying less to live out of the way to have more for other things.
For sure. How do you pay your bills? Well, obviously.
With money.
Yeah, with money.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like
sexual
your job.
favors sometimes when it's really tough, with just hand stuff.
Yeah. Your waiter, right? Our server. At a well, we're not gonna name the place, but yeah.
At a cool place.
Yeah, it's a cool place. That's how we met, actually.
Yeah.
Your partner, they're very supportive of what you're doing.
Yes.
Yeah. Are they also an actor?
No, not at all.
Okay.
And I think that's what makes that support so much more special.
Okay.
To me, at least, because I think it's easy for another artist to support another artist. It's almost like your duty, like you have to.
Yeah. This feels like a little bit more real in a way.
Yeah, but she is like constantly not only supporting my work, but challenging it in the right places.
Yeah, that's cool.
She's good at giving feedback. Like I used to go out with girls who, it's great. Well, yeah, but what do you mean it's great? No, just you look good. And I'm like, no, but what about the thing?
Yeah. You don't feel like you're getting that support of criticism that you want, I guess.
Right.
Or they don't speak that language in a way that you want it to. So what do we talk about, like, when your art situation is there a moment in time where you're like, I don't want to do this anymore, like being an actor?
No.
Never.
Not yet.
You always just had that fire. Just go.
Yeah, I mean, there have been moments where I worried I'm not good enough.
Okay.
Like, I'm like, I don't know if this is all for naught.
Yeah, what do you do in those moments?
Sometimes I let them take me over. Sometimes and I'll go into kind of like a dark artistic place where I just kind of, it's like feeling sorry for myself.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, self-pity.
But on the flip side of that coin, other times I also have to kind of take a breath and I go like, I'm living in this ever refreshing new moment. Mm-hmm. Every breath in is like new opportunity. Every breath out is old stuff.
Yeah. And
that breath in with new, breath out with old, it's kind of like a mantra I have because it actually reminds me like of even my accomplishments I'm proud of.
Yeah.
Because sometimes if I'm in a dark place and I'm questioning everything, I go like, well, you've done this stuff. Wasn't that cool?
Yeah.
Like, wasn't that a good feeling? And it lifts me. But then I also have to remind myself to let it go. Like everything is like a constant new moment.
Yeah.
And that helps pull me out of those stupors sometimes.
Okay.
Because I remember like, whatever I'm experiencing now is actually not real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm either thinking about something that's happened, so I can't change it, or something that's in the future, and that's me being like controlling because I'm trying to predict the future. And there's no way.
I think a lot of people have a hard time doing that.
Yeah.
And that's great that you have that ability to do that. It's going to be really grateful for the audience who are like fellow actors who are trying to, make it out here in the city, LA or New York or any big city. But yeah, I think that's because I was going to ask you that, like, how do you get yourself out of that? So you just literally like kind of got yourself out of it.
But also sometimes you got to self-generate getting yourself out of it. Like sometimes it hasn't been enough for me to just tell myself to just observe my feelings. Sometimes I literally need to actionize something that pulls me out of it.
Yeah.
Over COVID, I created this short called Quantum Nut on YouTube. You should check it out. It's fantastic. But also there is a lot of me in it.
Yeah.
It's the first thing I ever made and wrote myself. And it's sort of at least the first set of it, the Laser Squirrels of Bay Ridge, shot right here in Bay Ridge. It's like a comedy.
That's a cool spot. I like the area. Like you guys show me that spot. It's a cool spot to shoot.
But it's a very lighthearted comedy. It's goofy. There's a lot of big action. It's kind of cheesy. It's like But the time that it was made was 2020. Everything shut down. Artistically, I'm like adrift because I'm like, there won't be anything. I know there won't be anything for like a year.
Yeah, for a while. Yeah.
And then it put me into a dark place going like, man, if only I was this and if only I was that, maybe I'd be better set up to do this.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish I could play this, man. All the times I was deep, man, in this like, and all those affirmations I talked about before just weren't working. Because I was like, the reality is I'm stuck.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden that deep, dark place led to this like, well, if you could play something, what would it be? Someone brave, kind of a hero type, okay? Kind of goofy, because I feel sad right now, okay? A cowboy type, someone cool, someone like has a little bit of a story to them, cool. Someone with an accent, I like accents. Someone who gets into trouble, I like trouble, you know, all this stuff. And all of a sudden, all these little thoughts of escape turn into pen on paper.
Yeah.
Then storyboarding. Then me going, okay, let me just make it.
Yeah.
And it was just me, my girlfriend helped, and shooting like the squirrels outside.
Yeah.
And dude, the feeling I got when I finished it, and I just went like, you made it. Like you made your thing.
Yeah.
It's a simple thing, but you made the thing. Like, it felt like it recharged my batteries. And I went like, okay, like I forgot, like acting is fun. And acting is like, it's low stakes when you love it. Like, you just need to make.
You just gotta keep doing it.
Yeah. So that's another lesson I taught myself. Like when I'm in a dark place, when in doubt, make, you know? You're artists, make stuff.
Make stuff. Quantum Nut, right now.
Quantum Nut, season 1, 2, and 3.
So you were talking about like the Quantum Nut, which is awesome. I really like the footage, really cool. It seemed that like, doing your thing, I think it's very similar to like musicians. I feel like in a way, like, it's like a weird validation, I feel like, when you are doing something that's like not out there. So when you tell your friends or like people want to see it, it's not like a photo or like an art piece where you can just show them like, look, I'm doing it, an instant gratification.
Right.
I feel like ours is like, you have to do the whole thing and it's done. And if it's not like how you like it, it's like, it won't be produced.
Right.
Or sometimes it's up to the person, like they won't even release it, right? Sometimes. And I feel like that is such a, sometimes like a, I don't know about you, but I definitely feel bothered if this thing is like not out and nobody sees what I've been doing. I've been working so hard and I feel like there's no weird validation in a weird way, like someone listening. I don't know if you have that. Yeah, sometimes
From
or no?
Time to time, yeah.
Yeah, I definitely have that sometimes. I'm like, man, this guy, what has he been doing? Last time he made something was so long ago.
Right.
So now I'm like, I have that same thing where I'm like just doing stuff on, well, I'm doing YouTube stuff and reels, like just making music. It feels so good just doing the art.
Yeah, just making, man.
Just making it. For sure.
Like I think that is something that I get self-conscious about as an artist when it comes to like artists versus civilians, is that I think, you know, civilians kind of look at the artist and they go like you said, they'll go like, oh, he or she has only done that show like a year ago, or that's the only show that they do, or they do this and that. And I think when you're a really serious, not serious, that makes it sound boring, but a really dedicated artist, there's so much stuff that you're doing on the other side of your triumphant moments. It's like you're training, you're auditioning, you're like writing, you're practicing stuff. So, you know, I'm grateful for like this show that like it kind of gives insight into like how much work goes into being an artist on top of the money work that we got to do just to facilitate it. You know?
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's like a lot of reason why I do this, because I don't know how to like manage time. I think that's the biggest thing is managing a time situation.
Yeah.
But so talking about that, how do you manage your time?
I don't.
And that's like, yeah. And how do you juggle like work and that time?
Everything on my art takes priority.
Okay.
There is no juggling. Like there will be juggling if I try to figure it out.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like if I have the time to move things around, there's a bit of juggling there where I go, oh, I hope this works because that'll be easier for everybody if this just lines up. But the way I'm wired is ultimately at the end of the day, I don't give much of a f about that day job. So if something really important comes up, there's not a ton of stress that actually goes into me with the job because it's so clear what needs to happen next.
Yeah.
Like I don't need to go into that job.
Totally. And like, okay, so like New York City, when you get like, your agent will tell you like, It's never really last minute, right? Or is it like 2 days in advance or 1 day advance?
Sometimes it's like the day of.
Day of?
Yeah, so sometimes like if it's a callback, it
Yeah.
could be like that afternoon.
Whoa.
Especially if they're like in a second round, like maybe they've done a first round of casting and something happened with the first choices and now
Yeah.
they got to really hustle to get a second one going.
Wow.
So sometimes it is like you wake up and you're like, okay, my whole day is on its side
Yeah,
now.
no mercy in this business.
You're like, oh,
Yeah,
and
you
it's
gotta
never
go.
the days where it's nothing. It's the
Yeah.
days where you have
Of course.
3 things that you have to do.
Yeah. Oh man. And so you just go with it. Like it is what it is.
I lean into it, man. Like it's like surfing, I guess. It's like surfing. I've never been surfing. I don't know why I said that. I'm so full of shit. But I assume it's like surfing, where it's like, you know, the wave is all the stuff happening and we're trying so hard to fight against it a lot. I want to just kind of sit on top of it and see where it takes me.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. And so like it seems a priority of your, and that's a good way to think about it too, because like I feel like so far you've done so much and it makes sense that you just continue on doing what feeds you. And the people that are your establishments that hire you also, you come through and say like you're an actor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they know.
And I try my best. I hope it doesn't sound like I just say like day jobs. I really do try my best to make it easy for them to have me on board, because ultimately I'm not super like hung up about doing a good job when I'm at the day job. I want to do my best, but I want to kind of give back to their offering to hire me.
Yeah.
A little bit. At some point they took a chance to be like, all right, let's bring them on, and it's helped me finance everything.
For sure.
So I do want to make it work with everyone.
Yeah.
But just speaking from my gut, the priority is always.
Of course, yeah.
You know.
So how do you balance your relationships with friends and lover?
Well, I'm very lucky because my girlfriend is a part of my life because we live together.
Yeah.
We travel together a lot. I think that's actually it helps a lot with balancing the art, work, life, relationship thing. Taking time to go away with your partner. Every trip that I've taken with her, it's always made me feel, you know, restored and like, I don't know, just closer to her.
Yeah.
Prioritizing time with the people you love, I think is important, and also recognizing when you're socially deprived. Like sometimes I think I just am so busy and I work so much that I kind of have to have a moment where I go like, oh shit, I need to like hang out with my friends, or like I need to like go out and get a drink with someone or a meal.
Yeah.
You know, it almost feels like when you're so thirsty that you forget to drink water until you like just have that moment where you're like, oh my God, I need it. So I have a hard time juggling the friend work balance.
Friend is a little harder for sure, because then you're like, I think that's mainly what it is. Like you're so, and you have like, because in the end, then it goes with like work. It's like, you need to have that for sure. And then lover is like also really like important relationship.
Yeah.
Then a friend is kind of like a little bit at the bottom, where it's like, it's important, but it's not like the number one, like the stages, I guess. Right. And balancing that out is really hard. But at least it's good that you have that time where you recognize at least like, I really hang out.
I
Some
try
people
to.
have,
I try to. It doesn't always happen.
Yeah, that's fair. When you're doing art, right? Like what gets you in the mood? What is your preferred beverage to start off stuff, like reading scripts and stuff? Water?
What's my preferred beverage? That's interesting.
Yeah, it's random.
I'm like a 3 beverage guy, so it'll be like water, coffee, and like a juice. Because I don't want to get up once I've started doing my thing.
Oh wow, that's interesting.
Yeah. So I have like 3 drinks.
That's cool. So you're ready to go. Wow, I've never heard that one yet. That's interesting. I just like one and then take a break and go make something else. But
no, I have all 3 good to go.
That's awesome.
Juice, water, coffee.
How did you drink your coffee?
With my mouth. I drink it black.
Just black?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. Do you know any preference, like flavor profile, or no, not really? You don't care as long as caffeine.
I make coffee.
Cheap dude coffee.
Well, no, not necessarily, but I make coffee so badly. Like I'm talking to you, I make coffee so badly. My coffee is always like mud. I think it's unpalatable to most people except for me.
There's a brand called Mud too.
I'm sure it's better than the stuff.
Okay, fair. So you got the juice, water, and the coffee.
Yeah.
That's like you got the trifecta.
Like a brunch setup. Of
Yeah. And you're just ready to go. And where do you usually like do your work at? Like you at home, or you take walks somewhere and read, or what do you do?
The core of my prep is at home. But then once it's integrated, like if it's a lot of lines, once it's integrated, it's super important to like go outside and somehow practice it. A lot of times, if I don't have somebody who can read with me on the phone, a lot of times I'm like pretending to be on a phone call, but actually I'm saying my lines.
Yeah.
Because there's something about, you know, you can do your lines 100 times inside your house where the environment's very controlled and you're looking at the same four walls and it becomes very easy and you go, oh, I got it. I got it, it's in there. But then you go in front of a room and you go like, ugh, and then it's gone.
Yeah.
And I think what part of that is that you all of a sudden have all this new stimulus. Not only do you have adrenaline, but you have all this new stuff that you didn't rehearse with when you're at home. So sometimes I like to go outside and just walk around. I'll go into a store, I'll walk on the sidewalk and try to say my lines and try to make them sound like I'm really talking to someone and like pass through. And also like, you know, it's challenging because then it shows you like where you don't really know them that well. Because then something will happen over here and it's like, it's gone.
Yeah,
and I
yeah,
go,
yeah.
Okay. I don't
But
know.
then for real, like, you know, like it's like a double proofing, like, you know for sure your words.
Right. Like they need to be like your ABCs. They need to be like obvious, like so obvious that you don't have to think about them.
Yeah. And like when you're doing that too, like do you don't have any like theme songs when you're like doing these things? Do you listen to music while you remember?
I listen to a lot of theme songs.
Oh yeah, you do?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Okay, let's go down this. Like what do you do? Like do you go specifically by genre or like you have a specific song or what? How do you do it?
There's a lot. Like there's a lot of songs that get me in the mood. I'm very into soundtracks.
Yeah.
So like there a lot of epic soundtracks really turn me on.
Yeah.
You know, like John Williams really gets me going. Hans Zimmer. If I want to get in like a really weird, excited headspace, I love listening to Hans Zimmer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I listen to like Western stuff a lot because I'm a cowboy at heart. So like certain Western songs just kind of make me feel like, I don't know, they give me this sort of like, all right, let's do this. Settle up and do it kind of thing.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah. I like that. And yeah, I would feel the same way too if I like that feeling of reading. That's cool. And you, when you're at work, right? Do you sometimes like memorize it too, or like trying to get done?
Oh yeah. Yeah. If you ever see me at work and I'm looking at my book a lot, it's because I'm reading lines and pretending to do.
Yeah.
Or same note, if you ever see me like talking to
myself,
not talking to myself, but if you see me mouthing something, it's probably me not having a nervous breakdown. It's probably me like just trying to run some lines.
That's awesome. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, and we try to go fast and not think, right? We're just gonna say it. What's your favorite color?
Red. What's your favorite color?
Great. The rule is you can't ask the same question.
What's your favorite movie?
There Will Be Blood by Paul Thomas Anderson. What's your favorite food?
Pad Thai. That's a lie.
But you said it. There's something about that.
Where's the place that you want to go on vacation?
The moon. What's your favorite animal?
Zebra. Who's your favorite artist?
David Lynch. What's your favorite?
What's your favorite place in New York City?
My apartment. What's your favorite color of eyes?
That's discrimination.
Yeah,
I love all the colors.
We're trying to cancel.
I love every color.
No. We're trying to cancel you on eye color.
I love all
right
colors.
Now. But like, if you had to exterminate all of them, except for one.
What is your favorite brand?
Disney. It's Disney because they're like, it's one of the few companies that I'm like, there's actually a feeling attached to this company. Like from going to Disney World as a kid, watching their movies, there's just something about it where like I have a feeling attached to it.
Yeah. So you have an agent, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you change agents in between, or?
Because
I remember you were talking about like you had one in elementary school, or no, high school. You were like 16, and then you he moved you and you went to New York, and then still it was she. Yeah. Were they still the same person?
So that's an interesting question. They're not, but the way my road has gone is that like each one of my reps kind of has branched off into the next one. Like there's some sort of connection between them that's brought me there. So for example, my first agent obviously is like Southeastern projects.
Yeah.
So that has nothing to do with up here.
Okay.
But they hooked me up with my agent up here.
Okay.
You know, my first agent was like a commercial agent.
Okay.
So just commercials, stuff like that. They sort of branched me off into like my manager who was starting to do more film and TV.
Okay.
So it's not like they work together, but it is kind of all connected in this weird spider webby.
Got it. Okay. And then how did you get your, so one reference to the other, and then that's kind of, and then how did the one you stick right now? How did you get this one right now?
So again, like, kind of like it was my talent manager was like, oh, there's this new agent that we're working with. They're really great. You know, like you might want to give them a read. They do some really cool projects.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. And yeah, and I think I actually interviewed with them a year before they signed me. I interviewed and I kind of just like didn't hear anything. And then something happened, and yeah, now we're working together again.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And just to be clear, like you, like these, did they take a cut, obviously?
They take a commission off of when you work, so.
Yeah. Okay, so that's good. You don't have to pay consistently.
No.
So could you say like, when do you think is a great time to find an agent if you're an actor in New York City? Like you just started, when would be the time when you would find one?
When would be the time that you would, or that you should?
That you should.
That you should? I mean, I think...
Right off the bat?
I think you should try, like, right away.
Right away.
Because there's always a chance, you know, even if it's not, like, the biggest agency in the world, there's always a chance that, like, they might find you a job that holds you over for a long time.
Yeah.
So, like, that's worth checking out. Now, on the other side, another part of me wants to say, if you're, like, trying to go out for really legit agents, to get good at acting first. You know, because not every agent, I think, will take a chance on like a personality and a look. Some will, because some will be like, there's something to work with here. But then I think some agencies will be like, no, we need like good actors.
Yeah. Professional actors, I guess they call them.
Right.
Was there like moments of struggle of money at some point?
Yes, all the time. All the time. The whole thing, if I'm being honest. I mean, like, it wasn't until like later that I was here, years after I was here, that I felt like I could breathe a little bit.
Yeah.
And when I say breathe a little bit, I just mean a little bit with money.
Yeah.
Like those first couple of years, it was really hard. It was like, you know, I'm younger and spending money differently and making less money. And you know, there were definitely times where I was like, in a cab going home going like, please let my credit card go through when I get there. You know,
oh my God.
Please let this not be a thing. You know, like there were moments like that when I was younger.
Yeah.
For sure.
Damn. And it seems that like that time, now you're in a better place, a little bit older, you know what's up. What would you say to your younger self you could, are there any things that you could say?
I'd go, stop thinking about it so much.
That's a good answer.
Or something.
Yeah.
You know, I'd say stop, like, why are you working yourself up so much?
Mm-hmm.
Something like that.
Okay, fair. You had like commercials and stuff. Was that just part of the agency too? They just give you like these roles, or is it separate?
No. So the agencies, they give you the auditions.
Okay.
You know, and then you got to get the roles.
Yeah. And they just go with like TV commercial. They both, you sign up for all of them. You're like, I want all of these.
Yeah. I mean, like they're gonna talk to you first and figure out like what you might be best at. Because there are definitely like commercial actors. There are actors out there who like
just commercials.
Yeah, and obviously they probably want more out of it, but they're just so good at like hitting the commercial spots that it's like they work all the time.
Yeah. And they just know how to talk that lingo and everything.
Yeah, they know how to hold a product. They know how to feature product with face, how to take bites out of things, how to drink things. Like, it's
awesome.
Very specific.
Yeah. If you were given $10K right now, what would you do with that money? And you can only spend it on your art. And that's it. What would you do with it?
10K. I have a boring answer and a fun answer.
It's fine. It's not that much in the grand scheme of things. 10K is not that much.
My boring answer is I would just use it to keep funding my conservatory because it's very expensive.
Okay.
But then the fun answer is I would love, there are just certain shots that I think would be cool to have that are attached to no story or no project, but that I just simply from a cinematographer and an actor standpoint just want to have.
Trying to do a crane? What is this?
No. It's much bigger than a crane.
Helicopter?
It's going to be too expensive for 10K, actually. That's not
What is
gonna
it?
work.
What is it? A helicopter? Let's
I'm not going to tell the shot here.
Oh,
What are you talking
okay,
about?
okay.
What, so all you guys can steal it? No. I just realized saying it out loud, I can't afford it. Not even close. 10K.
Yeah, I'm just assuming. Okay, so you went past like 10K. You can't afford a helicopter. You could afford a crane the most.
I could like rent a crane.
Yeah, I can tell you right now, 10K will get you just a shot about maybe an hour with a car crane, and that's all you get.
That would be pretty sweet, but I don't know if I'd spend enough.
So what would you do realistically?
I'd buy a drone.
Buy a drone?
Yeah, I might buy like a new camera setup. I don't know.
Don't mind too much about the 10K thing.
What, was that good enough? I would pay for my conservatory, honestly.
Okay.
Like at this point in my life, I would just take it and I would use it for the next year.
What is it? Why is it so expensive?
Good question. Well, it's like a year-long course, and you're getting like.
Oh, sorry. I don't know why. I thought you were saying the quantum nut.
What?
I thought you were spending money on quantum nut. And I was like, why is that so expensive?
You know what's funny? My mind initially went to like, how could I use this in quantum nut? But the reality is, if I want to make it right, it's like, I need like $500,000 or something.
That's fair. That's a whole production.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, you were conservative. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Sorry, I was like,
no problem.
Explain, please. Why is it in my head? I'm like
what?
If you could get something to add on to your arsenal, which related to your whole acting, what would you add on?
This is random.
Yeah, go for it.
I would love to be proficient in wire work.
Wire work?
Wire work. So that's where you have a big harness on, you have 2 strings, and it's where you do like flying effects or some sort of big stunts where you're moving through air and space.
Oh, okay.
You know, they'll pull you up and pull you down.
Yeah.
I think that would be a really cool skill to have.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. I didn't
also
even think
just
about
fun.
that. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Like I didn't know you can even buy that stuff.
I don't know if you could. I mean, obviously
you would pay people to do a shot like that again. That does sound pretty awesome. I think that's the most coolest thing so far.
That's
ever.
like a fun one. If I had to pick like a personal tool or like a really personal tool, I would love to be able to have a really a messy moment in front of people. I would like to have that tool in my toolbox. So like to be able to, really like sob, really break down, really, be melted into something like childlike and guttural, which is kind of my goal as an artist. But I would, if I was gifted like a tool, I would love to just have that ability immediately.
Oh,
bulletproof.
Got it.
I would love to have some sort of motion capture abilities to be able to make like a character or something. Those are kind of the only 2 though that I can really think about. An IMAX camera.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Or like a high-speed camera.
For sure. So you want to be like a director at some point. What is the end goal of this? Like a directing or?
I want to create Quantum Nut for real.
Yeah.
Like that's sort of the goal. Like it's like, and not necessarily based off of what you've already seen.
Yeah.
But taking
that character,
the idea and the character and what the ultimate vision is about and doing it for real.
Okay.
And yeah, I would definitely want to, I might not want to direct it, but I would want to obviously write it and, produce it and be in it.
Would you ever like, this sounds like you also script write as well?
Yeah.
Do you see yourself being like Jim Halpert in The Office? Just like making his own movie and starring it and directing it?
I do that already, of course.
That'd be like a high level production goal, probably. Yeah.
I don't know if I want to direct it myself. I like to think that I could, but at the same time, I like the idea of kind of giving your idea over to someone who understands it and they are able to, oversee it for you. Because if you're too close to it, I think sometimes it could get tricky.
Yeah. Or it just looks like or you don't want to become like literally the the crazy
Zach
person
Braff?
on set.
Oh.
Well, the crazy person on set, just like, this is how it's supposed to be, and you're like, this guy's crazy, or like,
Right.
the director's crazy. Just go with it.
It's too much pressure.
Yeah.
You know, and ultimately, if you're starring and directing in something, you're gonna have an assistant director who directs you when you're on camera.
Yeah.
And I'd rather just make that person the director, you know,
Yeah.
so that way I don't need to worry about it at all.
For sure, for sure. Do you have anything to say to young actors out there?
Don't even try. No, just kidding. No, try furiously. Try even when it doesn't feel like you should, and when people are telling you shouldn't, and learn how to do your craft. Don't assume that because you do it all the time that you're good. Actually learn how to be good. And like I said before, make stuff. If you're an artist, prove it. Don't wait on other people to put you in things. Like, just make something.
Sweet. Well, thank you.
Thank
you, Eric, for coming on to the show.
Thank you
Been
for having
wanting
me.
you to come on here for a while. So everybody out there, thank you so much for tuning into Stupid Coffee. You guys can listen to or watch the next show or the show previously that's coming up. It's already in. Till next time, bye guys. Peace.